All right, Coach, we're almost ready for another year for you at the helm as the head coach of the Barracuda. What has you most excited about this upcoming season?
Yeah, I think exactly what you said. I think having the opportunity to have a fresh start, a lot of new faces in the locker room. A lot of the prospects are back, so we'll have another year under our belt for those guys, and we expect them to take a step forward. So really excited about our group. We have a good balance of older and younger players. Seem to be solid in the net, so excited to get going and see our group in game action.
What do you want your team's identity to be night in and night out?
Looking at us on paper and kind of the history of our older guys and where our younger guys fit into that group, I think we're going to be a forechecking team. I think we do have an ability to make plays with time and space, but I think that time and space will be generated by kind of a straight line game. I think that's, if you watch the playoffs, NHL playoffs last year, you kind of realize that's what wins, and that's the type of players we want to develop. That's the type of players David Quinn has said he wants, guys that play with a pace, play on top of people, and Mike Greer has also been adamant that that's the type of players we want, players that come every day and compete. So, our team, we want to perform, we want to win, but we also want to develop the type of players that the organization wants.
I think a lot of fans are curious, where are these second-year guys at? Where do they stand? Is there anything that's kind of stuck out to you, whether it's been Gooch or Robbins or Ozzy? Go down the list of these guys who played last year, got their feet wet, now in year number 2. Anything that stuck out that has you excited about where they could maybe take their game this year?
Yeah, I think, for those younger players, especially in their first year, it seems to be a lot of information overload. You can almost see their mind, grinding away. And so to have that year under their belt, and now it just kind of comes, instead of you're thinking and reacting, you're just reacting, because those, we haven't changed a lot from a system standpoint. They have familiarity with me and what I expect of them. So when they're in a position where they can react and they can eliminate the thinking part, that's when players seem to play their best.
On the other side of the spectrum, you've got tons of new veteran players in the mold. You look at Ryan Carpenter, a former teammate of yours with the Barracuda, Scott Sabourin, Nathan Todd, so on and so forth. Lots of guys who have been there and been around the pro game for a while now. What do you think those guys can provide for these younger players?
Yeah, I'm excited about all of those guys. I think we've brought in some talented players. They're all have been in this league. They've spent time in this league. A lot of them have spent time in the NHL as well. So they bring all kinds of experience that they can share with the younger guys, and from a day-to-day standpoint, the younger guys, it gives them an opportunity to see, okay, how do they come in every day? What's their approach to practice, to workouts, to film? How do they carry themselves in those meetings? And then I think the second part of it with the older guys is we've brought in high character guys, guys that have been known to pull people up to their level. Good leaders, good example setters, as I talked about. So I think, you look at it from both sides of the coin. They're talented players that can help us win hockey games, and they're also good people, good leaders, good examples for these younger guys, from a development standpoint to get these younger guys, get their habits, their day-to-day habits ready.
One of the great things about having your AHL team under the same building is your GM, your assistant GM, they can all take and practice scouts, development coaches, and we've seen it over the last couple of days. Mike Greer has watched or practice. For a player, whether they're young or established, they've been around the block for a little bit now, what can they do on a daily basis to make an impression and tell the front office, hey, I'm part of the solution moving forward?
I think compete is the first thing, and it's the first thing they're looking for. It catches their eye every time. Someone that drives the pace of practice, that isn't out there necessarily to make friends. We're all teammates, we're on the same team, but we're looking for competitive people. I think that's the first thing, and then I think the second thing is improve. I think development is important, and this is probably a longer term thing as opposed to your first practice jumping off the page, but if they continue to see players improve and get better, that's our goal as coaches. Is everybody's starting from a different starting point, but at the end of the day, development is based off how much can you improve over the course of a season or half a season or a 12-game segment. So I think it is, if you're showing and you're always trending in the right direction, the sky is basically the limit. If you start to plateau, that's where you kind of show, okay, this is my ceiling. So you always want to find a way to continue to improve every day in practice.
In my short discussions with David Quinn, he talked about how he was excited this year going into the season with some continuity amongst himself and his coaching staff. Same with you. You have the same coaches coming back, same assistants, and the messaging now for the players is consistent from one year now to the next. How important is that for you to have the same assistants around you? And again, you're able to kind of drive home some of the messaging that you had last year as well.
Yeah, very important, and I would even extend that to the support staff. Trainers and strength and conditioning department. Last year we kind of came in. It was brand new building, brand new staff, support staff, coaching staff. So to have everybody back, they all know me, they all know what I expect, what I like. And everybody kind of knows everyone's role now. Okay, this is what we need out of you. So it's been made clear, and everybody kind of fits in and gels together. And it's important. It's important to have that familiarity as far as what's expected, and from a day-to-day basis and over the course of the season. So I would echo that sentiment that it's exciting to have a little continuity and have that familiarity with each other.
Look, you aren't going to make the playoffs with a strong October, but it does feel like almost you can fall out of it a little bit if you don't have a strong start. How important is that for you guys to get out of the gates on time? And again, last year so close to making the playoffs, there's really a point or two is the difference. So to be able to get out of the gates again on time and have a strong start, how valuable will that be?
Very valuable from a win-loss standpoint, absolutely, but it's not the whole story. As you remember, last year we started 4-0, but I still don't think our game was in a great place, and it's, that's the challenge of coaching. Is it's nice to win. Don't get me wrong. It's not like coming in here being a rain cloud every day, but I think it's important that you can diagnose your game and see where you're at. And it can go the other way too. You might lose a couple games, but hey, your game is in a pretty good place. It's just we bounced here, special teams, things like that. So it's important to kind of take an objective view of it as well, and not get too tied up in the wins and losses, especially early in the season. Like I said, I want to win. I'm not saying all I care about is guys playing well and feeling good about themselves, but I think it is important to keep that in mind that, hey, we need to see where we're at to start the year. We need to improve in all these areas, and hopefully the wins follow, that quality of play improving.
One thing the organization clearly is looking for is more goalie depth. You added a couple new goalies in the mix in Krona and Romanov. McAniemi's back coming off an injury, so hopefully for him is just to play a full season and be healthy. How do you look at the goalie position and how you think maybe at least early you're going to utilize the three goalies?
Yeah, no, it's exciting. I think throughout the preseason they've all been good. All three of those guys have been good. They've shown through the rookie tournament and training camp itself, and then our training camp. And our exhibition games and the NHL exhibition games, it's a big sample size. So I'm excited. I'm excited about all three of them. They're all here for now. It's kind of a week-to-week type of thing, So as of now, they're all going to get an opportunity. And then, we're going to kind of, the game kind of dictates what happens after that. So as I said, I think everyone gets a shot, and then, we go from there.
Coach, we appreciate it. Best of luck this season.
Thank you.